So good morning, everybody. My name is Maria Unguritori, and I'm the Associate Director of the Global Engagement Office at the University of Montana. And as part of the International Education Week celebrations, we have today a presentation about the Institute of Modern Languages that is affiliated with Universidad de Granada in Spain. And University of Montana and the University of Granada have been partners for already quite many years, and we are also working on a special agreement with the Institute of Modern Languages, and really excited to have with me here today our presenter, Cassandra Souza. So I'll have her introduce herself, and what we'll do is to first have her do her presentation, and then open it up for Q&A after that, if we have anybody join this session today. And I'm gonna already apologize as I have to leave about 9:30, a little bit after that, but definitely please stay if you can. And also, I want to also point out that we don't necessarily have to go for the full hour. We can finish once we're done. So welcome again, Cassandra, and I'll let you take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maria and Kevin. Hello to everyone. This is Cassandra or Cassie from actually coming in live to you from Granada right now. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. And I've been really excited about, I'm pretty crazy about the state of Montana. I don't really know why, but I do really like it. And I'm really excited to have had a student on campus from your university before and share the opportunity with all of you to potentially come study abroad here in the future. So also, again, thanks to Maria and Kevin for reaching out, getting in touch and organizing today. And you know, the online platform has become kind of normal for us, and I like it, but I'm missing the physical platform. So hopefully we'll get to meet each other one day for real. Anyways, I'll get started with a little bit about the Center of Modern Languages. I've done these kind of presentations, as I said, a lot now, so I think I can be pretty concise. I hope to cover all of the important information for you guys without skipping over any of the also, you know, kind of essential details of what Granada is like as a study abroad program, both academically and as a cultural experience. A little background about me, which I think is pretty relevant. I'm originally from Pennsylvania in the United States. I've been living in Granada for almost 6 years now. I was a study abroad student here 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, and it was supposed to be a 3-month program, and it ended up turning into a 6-year lifestyle. So a lot of great things to be said about the program. I'm going to share my screen here, and I'll start with a brief video that kind of lets all of you see what the center and the city is like on a brief glimpse, and then I'll go into a pretty brief presentation that runs over like the academics and everything that's included in the program. And if there's anyone present at the end of it, we can do any questions that you have, we can talk about there. So if you guys don't mind, I'll share my screen. And this is the presentation, which we'll get to next. I actually wanted to do this one first. Quick check. Can you hear the audio, everyone? Of the video? Maria?
You know, actually, we can't hear the video.
Here, I paused it. If I play it, tell me if you can hear it now. Hold on 1 second. Oops.
Nope, cannot hear it yet.
Nothing. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Just going to. All right, what if I do it like this? Greetings from Granada. My name is Cassandra Souza, your on-site advisor here at the Center of Modern Languages at the University of Granada, Spain. You're probably wondering where in the world is Granada? So let me show you. Welcome to your future campus. This year, Shanghai Ranking voted the University of Granada among one of the top universities worldwide. And the city of Granada is one of the first choice destinations for European study abroad students. The Center of Modern Languages offers many academic options for you to choose from, including semesters, academic year, and summer sessions. Classes are taught in Spanish and English, and you can take classes in Spanish language as well as from many different disciplines, including history, political science, translation, and many more. We offer internship opportunities as well, which you can learn more about at your university's study abroad fair. The city of Granada is one of Spain's most beautiful cities. Its university atmosphere and Southern European lifestyle make it a city you'll never want to leave. Everything is within walking distance, and you'll discover a million places you want to visit on the way. We'd love to share more information with you at your university's study abroad fair. Tune in to find out more about the following topics. Thanks for listening, and hope to see you there. Cool, so that should give everyone kind of a general idea of what everything looks like. And let me see if I can switch over now to the presentation, where I wanted to get into a little bit more information on things like academics and all of that relevant information. Let me see if I can make this full screen or at least a little bit smaller. Okay, so great. So again, this is kind of goes hand in hand with the video that we just shared. And you'll see here today, I don't have our coordinator with me. Her name, you can see it here at the bottom of the screen, is Maria Jose Vasquez. And, you know, if you were to have any further questions about the program or anything like that, you would be working with her and with myself on a regular basis. So there are two names that you'd be very used to. And as I mentioned in the video, just some things that we're going to go over today. So the general points of the program, some requirements to apply, the different courses that you can enroll in, travel activities included in your program, housing options, extracurricular options, and a few other things that I think are relevant to students that are looking to spend, you know, a slightly extended period of time abroad. So again, welcome. This plaza that you see in the picture here is very close to my house. And I like this picture a lot just because it kind of shows you, kind of captures the huge variety of things that you can participate in as a study abroad student at the CLM in Granada. So here along the bottom, you'll see a lot of our pictures that are from the center itself, where students are in classes. Here they're in the library. This is our main patio. So you can see there's a lot of student contact, a lot of student life opportunities that you have here. But then there's also a lot of different cultural and outdoors activities, which is one of my favorite things about the city of Granada. You've got this great snowy mountain, like 30 minutes northeast, and then the Mediterranean coast about 40 minutes south. So it's got something here for everybody. It's really rich in culture and history. It's a university city. So there's a lot of activities. There's a lot of life. And I don't think we've had one student in the 5 years that I've worked here that wasn't wild about the program, and everyone else kind of wants to stay and live here forever. So anyways, let's get into some requirements. So I wanted to put some main points here on the screen, but also elaborate on, you know, the different options that might exist for students that have different situations. So we do require a minimum GPA for the application. However, if there were to be any students that are slightly below that and are still interested in studying abroad, it's not an automatic no, don't apply. We just ask that, you know, your application will be further revised. We ask that you provide a few extra documents, among them being an additional recommendation letter and a advisor form from your university staff, something that kind of helps shows us that you're going to take your studies seriously while you're abroad. So the minimum GPA for the standard application is 3, but if it's lower, you still have an option to talk to us talk to those at the University of Montana and see, what the next steps would be for you are. Next thing is we do require all students to take a language level test at the start of their program. That's once you arrive to Granada. However, it doesn't matter what your results are. So sometimes this is confusing for students. You don't have to prepare this test. We have classes that are taught both in English and Spanish. Both options are available. So the levels go from 1 to 9. It doesn't matter if you get a 1 or a 9. There's still classes that you are able to choose from. It's just to ensure that your classes are taught at the level that's most appropriate for you to learn properly and advance well in your classes. And I think one of the biggest things that we have to have in mind right from jump is to come to Spain, to study abroad in Spain for periods of time that are longer than 90 days. You do have to apply for a student visa. The study abroad staff, so myself and Maria Jose, are very used to providing assistance and documents that are necessary to apply for this visa. I'm sure that University of Montana will support you in this process as well. So sometimes it can seem a little bit overwhelming, but feel free to reach out to us, ask us anything. We're almost experts on it now. I don't want to say experts, but we have a lot of practice. So other than that, it's just simply filling out the application by the application deadline and staying in contact with us as we go through the steps of the application process. Okay. So different courses, different overview of the programs that are available to you. Really, you have kind of like 4 different main programs offered here. So the first one you'll see is the language and culture course that's taught in English. I just want to draw extra attention to this part here. It's taught in English for Spanish levels 1 to 4. This is our course designed for students that are what we call beginner Spanish level, meaning that your elective classes or your culture classes will be taught in English, and you will have to take 2 Spanish classes, which will be taught in the level of Spanish that you achieve in the language level test, so either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, moving up to the next one, it has the same title, Language and Culture course in Spanish, and that's for levels 5 and 6, and that means that both your Spanish language classes and the 3 elective classes that you choose will all be taught in Spanish, but it's a Spanish adapted to an intermediate level. So it's not fluent Spanish, just, overwhelming. No, it's adapted. It's make sure that you can keep up with the class, the material, and everything like that. The next option is also a combination of, let's say, language and elective classes. However, it's called a Hispanic Studies course, and it's taught entirely in Spanish. Everything's taught in Spanish for intermediate to advanced students. So those students that achieve a level 7, 8, or 9 on their language level test. The other program, I should actually change the order of this list. The other program is the Intensive Spanish Language course, which is the last one that's listed here. This is available for all levels 1 to 9, and it does not have the elective courses. It's an intensive Spanish language course that focuses on speaking, reading, writing, and listening skills in the Spanish language. Okay. And then I should always put this at the end of the list, but sometimes I forget to make these changes. I like to include to students, we do offer up to 4 different internships, depending on your Spanish language level, that are all included as part of your program. So there's no extra cost. You receive, we recognize university credit for them. Whether or not how they transfer into the University of Montana will actually be the University of Montana's final decision. So that's a general idea. Later, I'd like to speak briefly about different subjects that are available in each of these courses. But first, we'll run over a few different things here. So a general idea of the courses that are offered. These are like the fields that you can choose your elective classes from. Now, I use the word electives so that everyone understands that there's different content areas for students of all different backgrounds. So you can see, we have everything from language and literature, of course. That's was kind of the roots of the Center of Modern Languages, was language and literature classes. But over the decades that they've been teaching, they've expanded their course offer a lot. So they have classes available in all these different fields. And I'm super excited to say, I love food and I love cooking and I love the Mediterranean diet. In the year 2022, 2023, we'll be launching a new program that's focused on Spanish gastronomy and the Mediterranean diet. So we'll have more information on that over the next couple months. And then here at the bottom, you'll see different internship opportunities. Like I said, there's 4 available. However, unless you have 4 of them are available to students who have an intermediate to advanced level on their language test, 7 to 9. Okay, and that's all 4 of these are available here. For students who have a lower level, so beginner to intermediate, they are only able to participate in the internship in educational institution and the service learning and community one. Okay. Just a couple of things to think in mind. A lot of people really enjoy the internships. It gives you a huge professional advantage, really, to, you know, more than just studying abroad, actually going abroad and incorporating into, for example, like we have students that work in hospitals here that are med students, which is great for their curriculum later on in the future. So it's a big hit, definitely one of our big hits. So that's kind of your academic sphere of what's available at the Center of Modern Languages. Now, I just want to go back for 1 second, actually, and just specify that the most common programs that we have are the semester programs, fall or spring semester, but we offer programs of all different durations. So there's ones that are available, of course, the whole academic year is available. There's 1-month programs available every month of the year, except for August. There's 1 or 2 month summer programs available, and there's a short winter session that's 3 weeks available in January as well. So definitely something for everybody, depending on what works for you at your home university, in this case, the University of Montana. You know, reach out to us, let us know, and I'm happy to help you figure out what works best for you. So moving on from that, I'd like to kind of cover the things that are included in your program. So all study abroad students have a complete package for their study abroad, including, among many things, as we'll get into later, a complete active sport and cultural activities calendar for while you're here. So you're going to visit a lot of important things, important and also interesting. I was never much of a history buff, really, until I came here, and still not much of a history buff, but I do appreciate, you know, all of the stories that really go into building the city that surrounds us and the region that we live in. And you'll see a lot of those. All of our activities are led by professors from the University of Granada, and they help you kind of glimpse into what really happened here over the many centuries that Granada has been here. You'll also leave Granada, so not only will you do walking tours around the city and visit the important monuments of your own city, but you'll also go to other cities in Andalusia and other parts of Spain. Andalusia is the southern region of Spain. Of course, you'll visit the Alhambra, which is one of our, you know, most famous monuments, and I think one of the most famous ones around. But it will include other things like bicycling activities, sports opportunities, and things like that. So definitely something to integrate you with all the other students in the center and help you, you know, get to know people from around here and make friends, and also keep yourself busy and get to know the area. Housing is always a big question. Housing is also included in the program unless you decide to opt out of it. I would say so you have 2 options. You can choose to stay with a host family or in a student residency. I would say about 95% of our host families are very within the city center. Granada is a small city, so it's probably about a 15-minute walk from most of our host families to the center. There are a few of them, maybe like 2 or 3, that are a little bit farther away. You might have to take a bus to get into the city center. The bus ride is short and very cheap. It's not common that we have students in these families, but it could happen. The residencies, right now we're working with 3. They've been wonderful for us so far. This is a new thing that's kind of occurred with COVID and everything like that. Some people felt more comfortable in a residency than in a host family. So it's become a big hit the past year. We've been working with 3 residencies that are absolutely great, and they're all within 2 minutes of the center. So what's included in your housing? The cost of it is included in the program, okay? And you'll have your own bedroom. Your full meal plan is included, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, internet and laundry service as well. So the idea behind this is, 1, for you to have contact with the host family. That's everyone's preference, and it's also our preference as well because it supplements your stay here a lot. They help you get to know the area, get to know where to go, what to do. A lot of times they have children that might be of university age as well, which gives you like some automatic friends that are, you know, Spanish and from the area. and students really love it. Most of them choose the host family option. And the idea is for you to not have to worry about it. You know, if you opt out of housing, it's a mess. You have to look for rental contracts, maybe roommates, contract Wi-Fi, deal with leases. A lot of times your landlord might not speak, you know, if your Spanish is low, they might not speak the same language. So we do strongly encourage all students to go with housing in their program. And I think that you would really like it either way. Okay. So extracurricular activities, as I kind of mentioned before, the city of Granada is a huge university city, and we do a lot of activities that help make your experience here social, right? It's a big part of this is learning the language and the culture, so you can't do that on your own. We organize weekly language exchanges, which is a big event that incorporates local people from the city and students from the university, exchange students. And what we do is we organize, you know, we have certain places where we work on these events. Everyone comes to these places and we break you up into small groups depending on your target languages. So let's say you want to practice Spanish and there's Spaniards there that want to practice English. So we'll break you up into smaller groups of maybe 6 or 8 people. And you guys will get to kind of hang out and try some tapas and, you know, maybe practice 20 minutes of Spanish and then 20 minutes of English, 20 minutes of Spanish, 20 minutes of English. So students really like this. And right now we're organizing 2 a week. We normally organize 3. So we'll see what next semester is like. Language partner is the same concept, but you're assigned like a particular person that, you know, you would get together with maybe once a week. And they would help show you around the city and just kind of be like your buddy while you're here. And then you'll see a lot of other options that are listed here. The next 2, the English assistant and the Red Cross, being some of the volunteer opportunities that we have. Sports teams at the University of Granada. This semester, they've been a little strange because of the pandemic. There was a lot of restrictions. We're hoping that next semester, you know, we had a lot of students here this semester that want to play basketball, and the basketball team didn't form because there was restrictions from COVID. So we think that next semester things will be back to normal. I'll get a little bit more into that towards the end of the presentation. And in the meantime, we'll just keep our fingers crossed. And yeah, like I said, you know, if you're musically talented, they have university workshops that cover everything from like ceramics to making guitars to learning how to, you know, have your own urban garden, all different sorts of stuff. So ask myself or the coordinator for any opportunities to get involved. We've got lots of ideas. And the sooner you do it, the better. Always remember that. You want to get these things started.
Can I ask you a quick question, Cassandra? So one question I wanted to ask about the visa. So like if a student comes for, because as you know, you can, as an American citizen, you can travel to Spain for less than 3 months without a visa. But if you're coming to study for less than 3 months to the institute, do you still need to get the visa?
You do not. No, if the stay is less than 90 days, you do not need to apply for a Spanish visa, because all US citizens automatically qualify for what's called a Schengen visa, which allows you to be in the European Union for up to 90 days without applying for anything.
The reason I'm asking that there was an issue with the French visas at one point when we had some students go to study French for a short summer program. And the question was then, given the fact that they were not going to be tourists in France, whether they would still need to get the visa, even if it's for less than 3 months. So this has come up in some cases, and I wanted to clarify that with you.
Yeah, great question. No, it doesn't matter if they're studying here and they can't work here, obviously. They also can't work here with a student visa. So that option's kind of out no matter what. But they can come here and study on their Schengen visa. And since complications of the pandemic, they're facilitating an option to complete a visa application from Granada. This is really new, and we're hoping to get to know it better over the next couple of months. So it's possible that in the future, the students might, what we prefer is for students to apply for their visa from the United States. It's more secure, and we have a lot more security with this option in general. However, it's possible that for the fall semester, we will be able to, if there's a last minute applicant or emergency situation, that we would be able to facilitate a visa for them, apply for it now, with them being in Granada. So this is an option that we can talk about more over the next couple of months as well. Okay, great.
So what that
Thanks
means
for
that while they are in, so they don't have to, so what would be a typical situation for that? So if a student would,
So again, like I said, this is very new and we're still kind of getting familiar with exactly what it means. But basically it means that the students have to apply, they have to bring a set of documents here with them.
okay,
Documents including like the FBI background check with the
yeah,
Hague Apostle Seal,
yeah,
just received from the Washington DC, you know, a translated medical certificate, a few other things like that. I can share this information with you later.
sure. Yeah,
They have to bring those documents here with them, and then we would make an appointment for them in the Foreign Affairs office, and they would validate that students studies here, even if it's for more than 90 days. So they would essentially give them their student visa from Granada, exactly from Granada. They wouldn't have to go to the embassy at their home state and apply for it there.
So they would enter as the tourists, basically.
They would enter as a tourist. Yeah, they would enter as a tourist, and then we would apply to change that status to a student status.
Okay, that's
Very interesting
really
option. We're really hoping to be able to get to know this option well and make it kind of a standardized thing in the future.
Is that something that will apply just to your institute students, or is it also for the rest of University of Granada?
It's going to depend a lot on how Spain takes this option. It's possible that they put limits on what's clear is that the preference is not for students to do this. It's for students to come with their visa. Okay. It's possible that that Spain might put limitations on this. Like I said, it was just announced a few months ago. Most universities are not even embracing it. We actually had to, this past semester, we had an emergency situation where we had to expedite this process for a student, and it's not completed yet. So far it's going well. The application has gone well. We haven't heard back yet. We're hoping to hear back within actually the next 4 days. So we'll have more information on it hopefully soon. And like I said, I would love to be able to make this a standardized thing, but a lot of that is going to depend on Spanish regulation.
Okay. That's really great too. I mean, I never even thought that this would be a possibility with Spain.
Yeah, me neither. One of the good things that's come from the COVID situation,
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to have to leave right now, but you can continue and see if there's any more Q&A, and I'm sure we'll be in close contact, Cassandra. So
yeah, great. Thanks for coming, Rianne, for organizing everything.
Yes,
we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, so I think I'll wrap up here. I just have a little bit more to run over. Just kind of wanted to orient you guys in, where you're at. So you're down here in the south of Spain. A lot of students take advantage of the travel opportunities that are around them in Europe while they're here. You have a lot of cities where you have direct flights from Granada to that are cheap and great for most students at the CLM have a 3-day weekend every week. So, they take advantage of that and they go to all these different places. It's something that we encourage you to do responsibly while you're here and while you have it right next door. Later, just a brief overview kind of what, the arrival to Granada is like. So whenever your arrival date is, we intend for you to arrive and move into your family on the same day, and then have a day or two to rest before coming to the CLM for your welcome and orientation session. And then either that day or the following, you'll do your level test. And once your level test results are in, normally by the next day, or 2 days later, you'll start your classes, whether it's a semester, summer program, etc. Okay. And again, we're here, the study abroad office is here exclusively for our students that apply to this program. There's a lot of students at the Center of Modern Languages that aren't study abroad students. They might be Spanish students, they might be here from France, anything like that. So they don't have that same one-on-one attention that you could get from us, whether you need help with your courses, host families, adapting to a new culture, where do I go for dinner, whatever it might be. That's what we're here for. So it's a huge help to have someone there for that. And of course, you get office hours with your teachers. We have a 24/7 emergency contact line. You'll have my personal phone number as well. So really a great support system while you're here. And something that you don't think is important now, but you will later, is a complete full coverage medical insurance is included in your program. So like even everything to like a dentist visit, you know, can be taken care of while you're here. We like to make sure nothing possibly can go wrong. So, and again, Granada is super cheap. I mean, there's a lot of students here. It's a university city for a reason. Spain is cheap in general. Southern Spain is even cheaper. You can see a few things listed here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what tapas are, but you will fall in love with them. It's basically free food that you get with every soda, or soda, beer, wine, whatever that you might drink while you're here. It's a big part of Spanish culture. And like, you know, you can go out for dinner for like 5 to 10 euros, so it's great. Travel, shopping, everything like that. You can do a lot of really fun things here in the city without hardly spending any money at all. So definitely something you want to look into. We actually had a student here from the University of Montana not too long ago, and he was great and he had a blast. So I would like to get in touch with him, and maybe you guys could, if you have any questions, ask him as well, but we'll have to see how that happens in the future. And then my last thing, and I promise I'm done, is COVID in Spain, right? So you guys are going to see a lot of normal stuff, probably like what you're used to back home. You do not have to be fully vaccinated as of right now to come to Spain, to come to Granada, to study at the CLM, to attend your classes for nothing. If the Spanish health authorities were ever to change this, of course, we would follow suit. But as of right now, we're not foreseeing that in the future. Population rates are super high here. Infection rates are really low. Really, I think that Granada is back to normal. The only thing that's different is everyone wears masks and stays farther apart and disinfects their hands all the time. The classrooms are a little bit colder right now because we have to keep the windows open. But that will probably be, well, it will definitely change in the upcoming sessions because it won't be winter. It will be warm again. But we kind of anticipate spring to be even more normal than fall. So it's going to be pretty much back to normal. That being said, I guess the best way to say it is don't expect to be able to complete a vaccine while you're in Spain. We've had a lot of students ask about this. You should either get vaccinated at home or wait till you go home to get or complete your vaccination. Okay. And lastly, this has been a really, really hot, volatile topic. The whole COVID thing, it changes a lot. So just make sure if you do apply to go abroad to here or anywhere, stay really on top of communications from both health authorities, both in the United States and wherever you're going, and with your study abroad office and the study abroad office where you would be attending, because there's a lot of things that could change last minute and you really want to know what's happening online. Lastly, if anything were to go backwards and COVID were to get to be, a problem again, and we had to discontinue courses either temporarily or permanently, we do have all capabilities to convert everything to an online setting. So you do not need to worry about, suspending your course, losing money. No, you'll finish all of your classes and get all of the same credits online. Okay. And the other thing that I want to say regarding housing, before there was just a little bit of hesitation, not so much on the students' part, but on institutions' behalf. Like universities, they preferred, for the family's sake and the students' sake, for students to be in residencies. At this point in time, the vaccination rate was quite a bit lower. Now, like I said, it's like in the high 90s. So universities aren't really worrying about this. We're not really worrying about this. And I think students that are willing to come abroad also are not either. So any questions on COVID, anything I mentioned here, programs, applications, what the city's like, anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. You've got our study abroad office email here, my personal email here, and our website is down here. If you just put CLM Granada into Google, you'll find it there. So I'm about to run out of a voice. I think that's all I have for today. And thank you for taking the time to check out the recording or pop into the session. And I hope to hear from you soon. Okay.
Thank you, Cassandra. That was awesome.
think
sure the students will definitely, it was great. I was gonna say, will definitely benefit from all the content you talked about.
sometimes I
I
worry
had
too
one
much. I
question.
try to keep it concise, but yeah, go ahead.
It was regarding so crossing fingers this doesn't happen, of course, but if you were to go online like mid-semester, would students still be able to stay in their like housing accommodations, or would they have to like go home? I don't know.
Yeah,
You know.
so good question. That we're equipped for both options. Really, we're not going to make the decision to send students off campus unless the state of Spain requires us to. So, I mean, as long as there's not literally another, like, you know, what happened the first time, which was such a huge scale disaster. We don't anticipate this. I mean, we're not, knock on wood, we're not even anticipating really to have to go back online. Everything looks really great here. If it were to happen, probably it would be a temporary, maybe, you know, week or two thing. And I'm speaking based on, of course, my own interpretation of everything that's shared in the news and everything like that. So it's not official, but you know, probably it would be like a 1-2 week thing while things kind of calm down, and then we would get right back on track. If we went back up to such a huge level thing, then, and students had to go home, then of course we would, you know, send all students home, but all of their courses would be facilitated to them online in their time zone.
Of course, yeah.
And of course,
Awesome.
any unconsumed, like if they're here for half the semester, the other half of the semester that they won't be living here, they, you know, that money would be refunded to them for housing as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Of course, I'm not hoping for that, but it's good to know if it came down to it, I guess.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, if there wasn't anything else, I'm gonna stop the recording here.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.